Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to our Franchise Empire weekly newsletter, where we highlight some specific franchise opportunities and other interesting franchise information to support you and your journey. So, today, what we are going to cover in this live. Um, and by the way, if you are watching the replay, drop a comment and let me know if you're watching the replay. Very curious to who watches the replay versus who is watching live. But today we're going to cover number one, an HVAC franchise that shows $5.6 million in sales. That is the average for the top 10% of owners. We'll go over the numbers that show the averages for the other like 25%, 50%, full average, etc. today on this video. We will go over a Quality Resale in North Carolina that shows 2023 revenue of $685,000. I mean, how cool would that be to, you just step into a business that's already producing, close to $700,000 a year in sales. We'll talk about a couple who bought 3 locations of a coffee franchise, as well as our most recent podcast episode, which was about a business that does $11 million in sales. Sweet. As we are jumping in, for those of you who are here live, you can drop me a comment in the chat. Let me know what questions that you have, either about these specific opportunities, as well as just any franchise questions that you have. And I will take those questions at the end. For those of you who may be watching this and you are not signed up to get this newsletter every week in your email inbox Sunday mornings at 8 a.m., then you'll want to go to franchiseempire.com/newsletter, and you can sign up to get this for free. We don't cover everything in here, and of course, you might be able to just want to peruse this at your leisure. All right, let's rock and roll. And we obviously changed the time, so we are from here on out. We changed multiple times now. This, I believe, is going to be our landing spot, where we do this live stream every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. All right. So the featured resale is Mr. Electric. Do you know what this franchise does? Probably really hard to tell, right? Being sarcastic. So Mr. Electric is a Neighborly company. Neighborly is the largest home services franchisor in the United States and likely in the world. They own about 19, maybe more now, different franchise brands that a lot of them you've heard of. So this resale, Mr. Electric was established in 1994, and the franchise brand was bought by Neighborly in 2007. They've grown to 190 units throughout the country. And Mr. Electric, as you could imagine, sells, services, repairs, installs, and maintains electrical systems, equipment, components, and supplies, etc. Right? So this specific resale is in Greensboro, North Carolina. This specific franchise business was started in 2021. It has 2023 revenue of $685,000. The asking price is $850,000. Vehicles, tools, and equipment are included in the sale. So the way that Neighborly and a lot of these home services brands work is, you are required to have wrapped vehicles, vans, sprinters, etc. So although we don't have the specific amount that is included in here, it is included in the sale, that those vehicles and equipment. And this is 2 territories that's included in this, 2 geographic territories. Now, if you're not familiar with resales, by the way, and actually let me throw this bad boy up here. So for those of you who are interested, either you're in North Carolina and you're interested in learning more about this resale, we've had clients relocate to areas just to buy a specific franchise and get a specific territory. Or if you're just interested and knowing, hey, are there any resales in my area, in my market? Go to franchiseempire.com/resales. You will, if you qualify, meaning you meet the financial qualifications, then you'll be able to schedule a free call with our team, specifically a Zoom meeting, free Zoom meeting. If you prefer a call, just let us know. And then our team will be able to go out there and see what, if anything, is available in your area. So franchiseempire.com/resales. But something I wanted to share with you, because a lot of people don't necessarily know this. We've had clients before where they go, oh man, let's say we bring a resale to them. They go, what? $900,000, $1 million? That's so much money. And so I want to offer a reframe for those of you who aren't familiar with, buying an existing business. The higher the price, the better. Typically, a business is priced at a multiple of what it is doing in profits, right? So let's say, as an example, a business is showing that it's selling for $300,000, right? And it makes $100,000 in profit. $100,000 times the 3 times multiple equals $300,000 sales price. So, if you see a higher sales price, it's probably a good sign, because it's like, oh, okay, this business could be making money. Now, if you want to see, well, what are the profits to this specific resale? Well, if you were to get introduced to this, you would need to sign a non-disclosure agreement. People typically aren't just throwing around their profits for everyone to see. So just thought I wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, okay. So our team's take. So according to the FDD, the average sales for franchisees with the territory of 500,000 or more in population is 1.63 million. With all the reporting franchisees listed in the FDD, the industry is constantly advancing. Electricity doesn't look the same that it used to 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. People want advanced technologies with speakers in every room and smart lights. It's a very valid point. The franchisor has a call center that will answer your incoming calls for your franchise territory and put them on the next available appointment with your technician. So how cool is that, right? You have a business, and either maybe your office staff goes home at 5 or 6 o'clock for the day. Or maybe you're just starting your business and you don't have a full-time office person. Maybe they're part-time. Well, guess what? You can utilize the call center that the franchisors created, where they train the staff, they train the people, and will schedule appointments with you. That's a pretty significant advantage. This business is started out of your home until you're ready to have an office space and your business supports needing one. Owners typically start with one tech and one van and continue to scale. And from my experience and knowledge in service-based businesses, typically you want to max out a certain amount of revenue that technician is creating, or per van, right? Because you might have multiple technicians that kind of use the same van depending upon schedules. So, boom. All right. If you guys have any questions about resales or that specific thing or anything like that, let me know in the chat. I already dropped the link for if you're interested in finding more about the resale. Now, by the way, for those of you who might go, hey, actually, I'm interested in seeing if there's a new territory available for Mr. Electric, then you guys can go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. Enter your info. Let us know that you're interested in Mr. Electric, or if you're interested in another specific franchise and you're like, I wonder if if my area is available, then go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. You can schedule a meeting with our team and we can check on that for you. All right. Before we get into the franchise of the week, let's jump into a quick client case study. So Winnie and Isaac, so they still work in finance and IT. And they came to us really wanting a franchise that allowed their family to be involved together, and something that they could, eventually transition out of their full-time jobs and do together. Sound familiar? So they also wanted something that they could scale and really build into multiple locations. And, I'd say probably only about 5% of our clients we really help with, food and beverage. It's not a common thing that we're helping our clients with, but that, they had a passion for that and they wanted to be in that space. So our team helped them find, vet, and buy a coffee franchise for their market in Potomac, Maryland. They, acquired 3 franchise agreements or units that they committed to opening with that specific franchise. And they're actually also in our franchisee mastermind. So we have a mastermind group for our franchise owners and clients that become franchise owners, supporting them, with accountability and making sure that they're doing the right things as they're getting launched and that they're not going crazy. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's jump into the franchise of the week. Franchise of the week is a company called AirServe. Lo and behold, this is also a neighborly company. And of course, they're in the heating and air conditioning space. It's an HVAC company. They started in Texas in 1992. They also began franchising in 1992, which is interesting. Parent company is Neighborly, aka Dwyer Franchising. And they have 197 franchise units. Franchise fee is $45,000. The royalty starts at 7% and decreases all the way down to 5%, depending upon as your revenue increases. The national marketing fee is 2%. The investment range to get this bad boy up and running is between $107,000 to $253,000. For those of you who aren't familiar with the way that franchise funding works, a lot of people will get an SBA loan and put down 20%. So between 20 and 50 grand. There's also other ways to fund it as well. We have a ton of videos on funding, by the way. So if you want access to some of those videos where we break down all the different ways you can fund a franchise, I even made a video recently about how to buy a franchise if you don't have any money. So just let us know in the chat or something if you want the links to those videos. The franchise term is 10 years. And all the numbers that are below are based on the FDD released on April 1st, 2024, which was amended July 1st, 2024. As we discussed, AirServe franchisees install, maintain, repair residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, all the good stuff. Okay, you don't need, in case you're wondering, you don't need any HVAC experience to become a franchise owner with this brand. Actually, if you probably have HVAC experience or you've been a tech or something, a lot of the times those sort of people don't make the best owners because they want to be the person that does the work. And in order to grow, an incredible business, it's not going to happen by you going out there being the one doing the tech, doing the work. So the best business owners are great at sales, marketing, recruiting, and developing a team, right? So, and it says it right here. Our team completes this. So a lot of times we're on the same page. So you just need to be able to follow and execute a marketing plan, encourage and mentor your employees, and stay involved in your community. Let's dive into the sales, right? So we were talking about $5.6 million in sales in the title of this video. So you can see right here, it shows the top 10% of franchisees. Average gross sales were $5.6 million, with the highest franchisee doing $15.9 million. That is crazy. And the lowest doing $3 million. Okay, what this doesn't show is how many territories those owners have. Because it says franchise businesses. So what I'm not clear on, dang it, I'd have to look at the fine print in the FTD. I don't know how they define franchise businesses, if they mean one territory or if that means franchise businesses in terms of it could be 2, 3, 4 territories by the same owner. So that's a question mark there, by the way. And we are always transparent with all of the numbers that are accessible for us, right? So we catch your attention with the big sales number because that's always really interesting, but we share all of them with you. So let's look down at the average here. The average sales is 1.49 million system wide. The lowest sale is 178 bucks. So don't be that guy. All right. The bottom 10% average sales, $38,000. That is not good. Fourth quartile average sales, 141,000. Third quartile, 654,000 average sales. Second quartile, 1.4 million. First quartile, 3.7 million in sales. So I think some pretty strong numbers overall, and just shows, hey, look, I mean, there are 86 people between the first and second quartile, right? So it's like, if they can do it, could you do it? Maybe. Benefits for the franchisee: you get discounts on equipment, and you get rebates. More, okay, got it. Interesting. More than any other Neighborly brand. I think that makes sense because this probably has the most expensive equipment. Actually, we had some people over a couple weeks ago that used to go to school with our kids, and the one couple was talking about how they had to replace their AC unit, and it was like 15 grand. And the first quote they got was like 30 grand or something crazy. So makes sense that the rebates would be higher when you're, if you're replacing someone's whole system, that it could, in theory, be the price of a car, which is wild. But hey, so if you're looking for a potentially a high ticket business, obviously a lot of the work you're going to do is probably going to be a repair. Curious what the breakdown in revenue is in terms of, sales and service, but probably a mix, right? So, and by the way, just a friendly reminder, if you're interested in seeing if this franchise is available in your area, go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. Okay. It's a stable industry, right? If someone has a problem with their HVAC unit, they're probably not going to try to do it on their own. They're going to call someone to fix the issue. No matter what is happening in the economy, if it, we live in Florida, if it's summertime and your AC is out, you are calling someone to get it fixed. And no matter how much the bill is, you are going to pay because it's pretty torturous. So, and I'm sure same thing in colder markets, if it's cold and your heat's not working, right? So this business is a need and not a want. You can start from home. So similar to the other home services business, you can run through your technician's vehicle. You will need an office, but it's not required on day one. It's part of the Neighborly system, so you can get referrals from the other Neighborly brands within the portfolio. You also have the opportunity to purchase resales or new complementary franchises and potentially have a customer base right away. And look, this business has a proven track record. It's been around for over 30 years. A lot of people will recognize the brand name, and the corporate franchisor knows how to enter the market with strategic advertising. So, bada boom, bada bing. All right. So if you want to see if this franchise is available in your area, you will go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. That will take you. Oh, that's because it's the preview. This is like a dummy article where the link doesn't work. But that will take you to, let me show you. I'm not sharing that. That will take you here to this page, and it says get started for free. You'll enter your zip code, you'll answer a couple other questions, and if you meet the financial qualifications, you'll be able to set up a free call with our team so that they can check and see if that is available in your market, as well as what other franchises might be available in your market. Okay. Last but not least, on the latest episode of the Franchise Empire Show, we talked about a business that does $11 million in sales. So this is also a service franchise. We also talked about a resale with a really strong brand. We talked about some franchise buyers acquiring a resale. Some pretty interesting stuff in that one. Excuse me. If you want to watch or listen to that episode, all you got to do is look up Franchise Empire in YouTube. That will take you to our Franchise Empire YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe to that one. I think we were about to or just hit. Oh, who's going to be our 1,000 subscriber? Check this out, y'all. We are at 999 subscribers on the Franchise Empire YouTube channel. So who's going to go over there and be subscriber number 1,000? That'll be pretty awesome. So go to the Franchise Empire YouTube channel and go subscribe over there. That's where we put out way more technical content on franchising and where we have the podcast. And then for those of you who like to listen to audio podcast, we're on all major podcast platforms, by the way. So that's that. So at this point in time, I'm going to see what questions we have. I'll cherry pick a couple. Why do I feel like I'm sitting so low now? We'll cherry pick a couple of questions. I'm going to answer the ones that are really more franchise specific. Is owning a franchise or business rocket science or brain surgery? I do not really understand that question. I don't think it's either. I think owning a business is about who can experience the most amount of pain for the longest time. Owning a business is a lot about mental toughness because there are people that things do not work for them for a year or years, or and they just sometimes keep chugging along, and sometimes it's a battle of patience. But I think entrepreneurship is a lot of a mental game, and I see people who don't make it because they just can't mentally. They're just not strong enough. They just can't handle not strong enough. That's probably not a fair assessment. They're just not wired for it. They can't handle the uncertainty and just hang on through the discomfort, right? That's why I think people that were past athletes can become great entrepreneurs because, an athlete, you have to learn the skills, you have to learn the technique, you have to be coachable, execute. And at the end of the day, you got to hang on and be mentally tough. So what's my favorite saying for entrepreneurs? The first one that comes to my mind is progress over perfection. Progress over perfection is one that comes to mind for me. I really like that just in general. Let's see if there are any other things that are franchise specific. Okay, these are some interesting questions that you guys ask. I wonder if some of you people bots because the questions are so random. I am really, really curious about that. Anyways, all right, that's all I'm going to answer for today. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week. We will do another live stream next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. See you there. Bye.